welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. It's Doug Sashery, and always I am joined by
Rob Mediola.
That's right. And Rob, we might as well let's just throw him on right now.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, with Aaron Dunham of Chocolate Jesus out of Las Vegas. It's a three-piece band.
Yeah.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, it's three-piece band. Myself, Dustin, and Cecil.
It is, and I met them when they came through with Manifest.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had stayed with you while they were in town.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Seemed like they were with me for about 6 weeks, but no, I think it might have been 2 or 3 days.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we were there for like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, Lilith, the Paragraph.
Yep, and Josh. Josh
Lear.
Yeah.
Gianacci.
Hey boy, do you get to see Josh Lidwater?
I saw Josh probably about 2 weeks ago at an open mic. He's killing it right now. He's on fire. He's been doing a lot of gigs over at Jimmy Kimmel's Club over there on the Strip too.
That's awesome, dude. I want nothing but the best for people I meet, and man, he is a solid guy. We had him on the podcast, and
I listened to that episode.
Yeah, he's told a couple of jokes that I've seen on Instagram and stuff, like they opened up and there's stuff that I couldn't repeat on this podcast, but oh my God, they were funny. Yeah, because of a lot of reasons I couldn't repeat them. But yeah, he's a good guy, man. I want nothing but the best.
He's been doing a good job. He's been writing a lot of new bits and stuff like that. It seems like every time I see him, every few weeks, he's got a cool new bit that he's posting. So yeah, good. He's doing good. I'm happy for him.
That's good, man. Well, now what about y'all, man? Tell me. Okay, first, Rob has got to want to know this as much as I do. What genre would you put yourselves in?
That's a great question.
It's not really
caveman
EDM.
Caveman music.
EDM,
but that's what it reminds me of.
It's kind of like EDM on LSD, kind of. Which is kind of cool. It reminds me of something you would hear maybe like at an art gallery show or something. Very creative.
We've done some art gallery shows.
Yeah. I could see it being there, something like that.
Yeah, didn't y'all
we call ourselves experimental electronic, you know what I mean?
That sounds good.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was explaining to Rob that when Paragraph and Lilith started out, they were just guitar in that. I'm gonna call it a xylophone, but it's not a xylophone, is it?
The vibraphone.
You know what that is? It's
it's called a vibraphone.
Vibraphone. Oh yeah. Okay.
And that's all they were at the beginning, and it was a lot different. Now they've added drums and bass. I'm waiting for them to add a horn section, but I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah, it's the same.
But live, is it kind of more freestyle, or y'all play everything the same every time?
No, it's a little bit more freestyle. I mean, we definitely have written songs, and there's structure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely parts that are kind of loose and stuff like that, and live, it's a whole different thing. I mean, we wear these crazy fucking clown masks and freaking I strip down into fucking booty shorts and start climbing up on the bar and stopping things and cover myself in fake blood.
Right. I saw that on I think
it's a very interactive freaking to see us live.
Yeah, I watched the bit from the Red Gorilla.
Yeah. That's a good one. That was from our tour in 2022.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there. But yeah, as a musician, I was like, how do they do that? As a set, to do it every time, to do it the same way would be insane for me, because my brain couldn't handle that.
It was short out.
Yeah, it was short out literally because I'm a control freak. But
yeah, it's
No, we have cues and stuff like that we can kind of just have developed, for every song. So we just kind of know when to transition and stuff like that. The hardest part, honestly, doing that shit every night is washing all that fake blood off.
Yeah, you
or
had a lot of
sometimes
it.
like the worst part is like that particular tour I kept forgetting. This last tour I managed to remember every night, but that particular tour I kept forgetting that I would be covering fake blood, and we'd go to like a gas station or a bar or something like that, to go grab a
Yeah.
beer afterwards. And the freaking server or the freaking whoever would be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm
Yeah.
great. How are you doing, man? How's your
So
night going?" And they're like, "You look like you just got beat the fuck up." I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh no, I'm a performer. Stage
right.
blood. I have to show them a little bottle of food dye."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Call 911.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's there are worse scenarios. I have in Deep Element Dallas is a band that at their last song of the show they would use a pig's head. Like I'm sure they got it from a butcher
Wow.
or whatever, and there would be a chainsaw involved,
Wow.
and the crowd would get
Oh no, that don't sound pleasant.
If depending on the venue a lot of times would not
Yeah.
want stuff in there.
Yeah, most venues don't want you to do a pop confetti, much less a pig head getting
Yeah.
a chainsaw.
No, that's why when you see bands like Guar play, if you like look at a live video of like Guar, all the monitors and stuff on the front of the stage are all like wrapped in plastic and stuff like that.
Yeah, you would have to because that would be just a big mess fast.
Yeah, that's
Big mess.
that's what they do because it's way too much investment.
So you guys what are y'all trained in musically?
So I grew up I think I got like toy piano when I was 7 or 8, and by the
Wow.
time I was 9, was able to kind of start picking out like simple little nursery rhymes, stuff like
Cool.
that. You know what I mean, by ear.
Right.
And then by 13, all my other friends had like guitars or basses and stuff like that. So I started to play guitar, and so I played guitar past 20 freaking years now, I guess. It's weird to think about.
Yeah.
But when I was 17, I took a bunch of mushrooms and I saw Daft Punk, and that pretty much made me, like the freaking LCD sound system song. We're trading in our guitars for synthesizers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man!
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of synth going on.
Yeah, so that's what really got me changed the way I looked at electronic music, because before then I personally was just really into I don't know, just like metal and emo shit, the typical freaking 17-year-old of 2007 would have been into,
Well, you flip,
and then
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and then about decade later, a little less. About a decade later, I met these guys, and we were all just kind of doing separate stuff. Like Cecil was doing a lot of beats and stuff like that on the 202, 404, excuse me. Somebody introduced us, because they saw that I was doing all these weird beats and electronic stuff on these Korg elect tribes, and so we ended up jamming together at one of these kind of First Friday kind of farmers market, monthly festival kind of things down here, and then that was that. And then maybe a year later, we happened to just meet back up randomly at a party. We're like, oh yeah, we jammed that one time. We should do that again. And so we did that at Cecil's house, which is now the house I live in. It's a weird full circle, but and Dustin just so happened to be there, and he was like, hey, I got my keyboard. Can I jam with you guys? And we're like, sure, why not? And so we just did this whole jam session, recorded it onto Cecil's computer, and posted it on SoundCloud. And then just kind of that was that, and then
Cool.
about a week or two later, we both had, a few different people ask us, so when you guys gonna do this Chocolate Jesus thing, we listened to it on SoundCloud, it sounds really cool, and I ran into Cecil, and I was like, hey, I've had a few people ask me, and he's like, I've had a few people ask me. And so Cecil was working at a venue at that time, the Bunkhouse, which I ended up working out with him as well, and that was one of our first shows, just at the legendary Bunkhouse, which is victim of the pandemic.
Cool.
Oh God, yeah. Now wait, how did the name Chocolate Jesus come about?
Okay, so after we had that jam session, this is the real story. I was just thinking like put a bunch of random fucking shit now to the point that I've forgotten the real story. But this is the real story. Is we after that jam session, we went down the street to this restaurant called Esmeralda's with our friend Zephyr, and he was just showing us all these funny T-shirts from like Japan and China that had like random American phrases on them. You know, like, but they were kind of like messed up. They weren't freaking like, you know, they didn't make phonetic sense quite, you know.
Yeah.
And we saw this one that was a blue tie-dye shirt that said "chocolate fucking Jesus" on it.
Oh
We're like,
God.
that's hilarious. Like,
Well,
and so that's what we named. That's what we named the freaking session. You know, it was, you know, because I went by Frying Mindset, Cecil went by his name, and Dusty went by Dusty Jane. You know, so we just, you know, you know, collab chocolate fucking Jesus. You know, that was the name of the band. And that's what people started calling it, chocolate Jesus. You know.
well, that's what. Yeah, Rob was telling me, and I didn't realize that it was a song by John Waite as well.
Yeah.
Tom Waits, yeah.
Tom Waits.
Tom Waits, yeah.
And,
So yeah, that's one of my lie stories. Like people be like, "Oh, you guys big Tom Waits fans?"
Yeah.
Huge.
right. Huge fan.
Huge fan.
Yeah. Like, no, I didn't even realize that, you know, until
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well,
But that was, like,
Beth
one of-
Hart
like,
and Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa did a cover of it as well. More bluesy,
Yeah,
more you know, direct blues style.
now I'm definitely gonna have to listen to it.
Yeah.
What about now? Y'all are based out of Vegas, but where are y'all from originally?
all of us are pretty much born and raised here.
Wow,
Wow,
that's cool.
I thought,
Yeah,
I
I
thought it was
mean-
like Houston transients. Everybody
Desert.
here.
No,
Desert people.
no. I was born just on the other side of the border in California in like Riverside, but it's not very far. You know, my parents moved here when I was 6 months old. Dustin's he was God damn it, what service was his dad? I think his dad was in the Army or the Air Force. But he's a military brat. He was born in Tacoma and then lived a good amount of his childhood in Japan for a little while. But then he spent most of his like formative years, like middle school, high school, all that out here in Las Vegas. And then Cecil was adopted, but he was adopted about 6 months old as well. You know, he was born in Northern California, but his parents adopted him out here when he was about 6 months. So
Nice, man.
Very cool.
yeah, so we've all pretty much, you know, grown up out here.
Yeah, how's the local scene there in Vegas? Because you know we know how it is in this town or in Houston, but if you go to a town like Nashville, you know, it's different. Or you know, how's the Vegas outside of the the big ballrooms where you'll see big acts or the big stages? What about
Just down locally?
Yeah, what's
level,
the local scene there?
local level?
Local scene's all right. I mean, it's mostly a lot of like metal and EDM, but somehow we don't fit in either or. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good punk scene, but like any punk scene, it's got its inner fucking dramas and shit like that. You know, the young kids are doing a lot of freaking cool shit. There's a lot of shit that I'm, freaking at 33, too out of fucking touch with, you know what I mean? But I'll see like little snippets online, or catch a flyer here and there. So, the young ones are definitely keeping it freaking active. And every once in a while, there's some younger promoters that'll hit us up and throw us on a bill and stuff like that, And the kids are always pretty mind blown. Well, other than that, I mean, it's not, it goes through phases, just like any other scene, I'd like to say, you know what I mean? Where it goes, it's ups and downs. Sometimes it's super interconnected, and everybody's like doing something, doing stuff together, and there's a lot of multi-genre shows. And then sometimes it gets really separated, and there's just people just doing shows that are just that genre. And that kind of seems to be the phase we're in right now, where it's just everybody's just doing their own genre shows, as opposed to like 7, 8, 10 years ago, there was a lot of good like intermixing like shows. You'd have like hip hop and metal and freaking experimental, and like it'd be a cool melting pot.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's not so much that right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, you taking off with Paragraph, that was a good idea because his show is a little bit different as well, and they hit the road. How long did y'all tour, man?
We were on the road let's see. We did, I think, about 3 weeks. We took a band with us from Vegas. Our friends Headwinds, and we did 3 or 4 dates with them on our way to Austin.
Yeah, that sounds.
South.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect. Fit.
They went back. They headed back home, and then we met up with Manifestive in San Antonio, and from there, I think we did like 3 dates with Manifestive.
Good deal, man. Yeah, they. I was. Now I have some. Since we have you on, and that's what we basically do now with a lot of our locals. What we do is we'll talk about their music and stuff, but then we'll just chit chat like about anything and everything. But I got a question for you, man. How's the Sphere look over there, man? They're gonna address that thing?
Yeah, the Sphere is awesome. Me and my girlfriend just went down. On Saturday to watch the F1 race.
Oh yeah,
and that was absolutely amazing. I don't know if you've ever been. I know they got the Coda over there outside of Austin. But yeah, so they closed down the whole strip and like freaking turned it into a Formula One track.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never been.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then they were using the Sphere as like a screen for like the flags and all that stuff. The Sphere is amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
I haven't been inside yet.
That thing, yeah. No, I've been to Vegas a few times, but no, that wasn't there when I was there. I mean,
it's brand new. Yeah.
No, they just turned that thing on maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah. Man, I can see other cities doing that because it's so versatile. Like if you want to do something for the city, like a big like they have F1 come in, but if you had something else going like the rodeo, here in Houston or.
I don't know that it's affordable for city.
Well, we have a rodeo coming up.
Oh, I agree.
We have a rodeo coming up here. The NFR is here every year in December.
Yeah, y'all do have a big rodeo there every year. Now, I imagine they're going to dress that thing up for Christmas. So I imagine that thing.
The Sphere?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing will be.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure, yeah.
For sure. During Halloween, it was a giant pumpkin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We Santa Claus. During the F1 race, they have like this giant emoji, and they put it in like a racing helmet. And then they had it like watching the cars go by. It's pretty crazy. Cool. It's massive. Insane. It's so massive.
God, like I said, that's so creative. Whoever came up with that, man, it is. It's a cool idea. I wonder how much that thing cost to build. It was
a billion.
Oh yeah,
it was a little over $1 billion. Yeah.
I mean, because all those.
But yeah, it's crazy watching them build it.
God, it's insane, man. It's just new worldly,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I get to see it almost every day, and every time I see it, it's still like, whoa. Like,
well, I mean,
it's pretty mind blowing too, especially once you get really close to it and you can kind of see like all the LEDs, because like it's actually just made up of these about hockey puck sized freaking LED things, and they're spaced actually further apart than you think they would.
Yeah,
I mean, they're easily spaced probably about a foot. Apart.
Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, maybe 6 inches the most, but no, probably not closer to a foot. They're
not
pretty
touching.
far apart. Yeah, definitely not touching.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Vegas got a hockey team. Then they got
we just won the Stanley Cup.
That's right.
And that's what they made the spheres with, all the pucks.
That's okay. I get it now. Yeah, that's that. Then, but they have the Raiders are there, and now the A's are coming as well.
Yeah. We just keep getting all of freaking Oakland's leftovers.
But yeah, I kind of think of it this way. I'm wondering that. When the people that go to the games, it can't be. I mean, I'm sure it's local, but it's got to be a lot of corporate and a lot of people that just come into Vegas and they'll go see a game. Because you can't.
It depends upon what team you're talking about. Like, because when it comes to the Knights, there's a lot of diehard local fans. Yeah. And there's a good they fill up the Fortress for sure. When it comes to the Raiders games, it's a lot more like people just come in, to root for their team. You know what I mean? So you'll see Allegiant Stadium, I went to like a 49ers Raiders game, and it felt more like a 49ers game,
It's when you go out and rob all the tourists.
So full of red.
Yeah.
But then you go like we have like the WNBA team, like the Aces. You go that's like almost exclusively locals, you know.
Yeah, and I would imagine. Yeah, I have seen that the hockey team does have a great local following because I've listened to some audio and radio about that, and yeah, that is pretty
I think
cool.
the baseball is going to do well. You know, we have a AAA affiliate that is actually the minor league affiliate of the Oakland A's called the Aviators. And they got a beautiful freaking field out there in Summerlin, Las Vegas ballpark. And those games easily, like, you always hit like over 2,000-3,000 in attendance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think,
sometimes they'll even sell out for that baseball field is like 10,000. And there's be a few sellout games.
oh man, they're gonna, and I imagine that the new stadium, I think it's going to be 27 until it's ready. You know, they have to
27 or 28, but they're also talking about having the A's just play at the Las Vegas ballpark I was just telling you about. You know what I mean? Because like already, like we get like as a minor league team, we get more freaking like butts and seats than they do in Oakland. You know, as a major league team.
But I was kind of
on average.
Yeah,
Wow.
now I know they did good at that, but I would almost have to say that they're gonna make that new stadium a dome stadium, right? Because basically,
I mean, they're gonna have to, man. It's pretty brutal unless they start every game around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know,
shit, you would still need to.
You're talking just because of heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, look, Arlington. I mean, it was brutal. They had to. That other stadium wasn't that old. But I mean, it's 20, but it's just too damn hot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they play the games at the minor league stadium, and it's not covered, and they play those all throughout the summer, but it does get hot, I mean, even with the sundown, it can still be 100 degrees out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true.
You're in the desert.
Yeah. But minor league baseball it's fun as hell to go to, man.
Yeah.
Because
oh yeah, I love it.
The prices are a lot more affordable, and they always have some kind of bit that they do in the seventh inning, usually, and sometimes other innings as well, And so that.
Oh yeah, there's always like at these games they're always doing like fun little games with the kids and stuff, like in between each inning and stuff. And like this park has like a pool that kind of like the stadium in Phoenix.
Yeah. In fact, that was another question I was going to ask you. Have you been out to the new sports book with the big pools outside?
Oh yeah. I celebrated my birthday there freaking when they first opened a couple years ago.
Have you seen that, Rob?
No.
It is
it's the Circa pool deck.
Yeah.
Stadium Swim is what it's called.
Yeah.
Wow. No,
they basically have a screen like here to my house.
Wow.
Just an hour away. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
And then like six pools and stuff like that, or 8 pools, I forget. Yeah, It's pretty wild. The inside of that same casino is crazy because they have a sports book on the inside that's even bigger. It's massive screen. Like,
wow. Yeah, I've never been to Vegas, and I'm not sure I would enjoy it because I get overstimulated with everything, all the lights and everything. Yeah, my brain would probably explode.
Well, like when I went, the only thing I didn't care for when I would go was check-in because it would get kind of crowded. So, but I got a couple perks, and I was able to avoid some of the bigger lines. If you're a little claustrophobic, it might bother you. But
for me, all the lights, the noise, my brain tries to always put it into a pattern or something. I guess I don't know. Usually, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, usually when I go in a casino, I'll have I put headphones on, like the little ones.
Yeah, casinos look like crazy packed.
Yeah. Well, some of them, but you can go off it just, and a lot of that stuff just connects one to the other, So it's you could say, but you want to be inside anyhow
because it's hot.
Yeah, because it's hot. It's god awful hot, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of walking I hear when you go to Vegas.
Yeah, but a lot of it's inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, almost. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't even realize how much walking you do because you're inside there.
Yeah, that's what I hear all the time. Walking, you do a lot of it.
Now, look, I don't know.
We did so much walking on Saturday just to, checking out the F1 and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after the race was over, I was like, oh, man, my feet hurt.
Yeah.
Like, once the excitement wore down, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, now you feel it.
I mean, you know, between a couple different properties I was at, it was almost like being in a mall because I mean, you don't. I was never outside, man. You walk.
You're
across,
not doing it right.
You no, you walk across the breezeway and you're never outside the whole time. You know everything about it, but
seems like Chocolate Jesus kind of likes that stimulation over stimulation kind of thing going. Because even
I don't think
right.
I don't think that's it. I think that's more of a result than like a. I think that just comes from us, like growing up.
Because y'all even have y'all even have
always
projection.
being overstimulated.
Y'all even have projectors going too, right? When you're doing your live show.
Sometimes if we bring somebody with us to do that kind of stuff, because it's already a lot to begin do what we're doing and then do extra on top of it and stuff like that. So that usually means we have to go with like a roadie or usually we'll make them our opening act. Do
y'all mix everything?
Like our friend Spacey. Our friend Spacey Blair helped us on our Pacific Northwest tour where we did like some projections and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Is everything kind of mixed individually, or do y'all have your own mixer already set up? Kind of.
We have a mixer set up, and we freaking mix ourselves. But sometimes, if we get lucky, we can get a nice professional venue.
Yeah.
And like somebody that knows what they're doing, and we'll plug into like DIs and stuff, and have them mix us from front of house.
Yeah, I would think that'd be a little challenging.
Otherwise, we're usually mixing ourselves on stage.
Yeah, I would think that'd probably be better for you guys.
Yeah, well, what everything
it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, because y'all know what y'all want to hear.
No, exactly. But there's been a few times though where we've lucked out, or when we used to play at Bunkhouse all the time. Our sound guy Glenn, he freaking knows our sound like perfect. Yeah. So like anytime we play with him, like we know we're in good hands because he knows what we want to sound like. He's mixed us before.
Yeah.
He's actually mixed some of our songs before and stuff, too. So we have like some people that we could trust, but otherwise, usually mixing on stage, and that could be hit or miss depending upon the venue's sound system.
Yeah, because you can't hear yourself. Sometimes you can't hear what's coming out the front. So yeah.
Yeah, usually we'll travel with a monitor.
Yeah.
Just in case. Mm-hmm. So if it's just like nothing but like subs and fucking big ass JBLs just all pointed and we're standing behind them, we're like, all right.
Yeah.
We'll grab our freaking wedge and we'll throw it under the table so we can at least hear ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I need to get out there soon. It's been a while since I've been.
Vegas.
You know how long it's been? They were working on. When I went, you had to go over Hoover Bridge.
You watched
Hoover
Elvis.
Dam.
Did you see Elvis play live?
No, I did not see Elvis play live. Yeah, but now they have a bridge where you bypass the dam. But back then,
the Pat Tillman Bridge.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You don't even know that you're going over the bridge until like you just go over. You're like, because you can't see anything when you're driving on either side.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but you got to get out there, dude. Like I said, go and. Can you still drive over the dam at all, or is it not at all now?
You talking about Hoover Dam?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can, but I'm not sure.
And they were checking, like they had a security check, maybe 3 miles up the road, 2 miles up the road when I was driving in from.
Yeah. And they weren't allowed to drive trucks on over there. Yeah, it was all after 9/11. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure the bridge has been open for about 10 years, so it's been a long time since you've been here.
It's been a long time, but there's so much cool stuff around there. You can see a lot of the old work and some of the old stuff that they use is still there, man. The diversion tunnels are still there. All that stuff when they were building
all that stuff, at the dam, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you travel up and down the river too. You find all sorts of cool, just like old, like freaking things from freaking when they were building it and blasting.
Yeah.
There's a little like freaking like watch freaking like like decks like built into the side of the canyon and shit.
Yeah, I mean it's just really weird. And have you gone down to Lake Mead and found any bodies in barrels, anything lately?
Nah, I don't usually go to the lake, honestly, because the lake's kind of gross, you know what I mean? Weirdly enough, going further downstream is less gross than the shores of the lake. The lake can be really muddy, you know, because there's no set shoreline. You know, it can raise and fall willy-nilly. So the lake, you know, and it's really rocky, as opposed to the river where they regulate the flow, you know, downstream because of the dams. You know, where there's like set beaches and stuff like that, and just, you know, cooler places to go and swim.
Hell, I didn't even know they did that
Laughlin.
down there.
Yeah, then Laughlin's just about an hour away from here, hour and a half, give or take, you know, and then it's like a little mini Vegas on the river. And that area's fun, you know.
Yeah, I've never been there either. I think of this something we have to add to the trip.
Yeah, Laughlin, Bullhead City's a neat place.
Okay. Well, anything you got anything else coming up? What are y'all doing towards the anything shows between now and the end of the year?
We just have one last show over at the Huntridge Tavern this year with some friends from Phoenix. That's going to be on the 16th. Other than that, we're just trying to finish up this unnamed album that we've been working on for the past couple years. And that should hopefully be out by the spring of next year.
Okay, and I gotta ask you before we wrap up. I gotta ask you, how can they reach you out there on social media?
They can find us at Chocolate Jesus702 on everything, or we have chocolatejesus702.com, and that'll take you to all of our socials and our EPK singles, everything.
Cool.
Yeah, and they have their music's on Spotify, and I'm sure it's on iTunes and everything else you can find it at.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty everywhere. Yeah, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and there's a little bit of different stuff on everything too. So it's not like,
okay,
you know, if you go to our SoundCloud, you're gonna find like really cool deep dives of some of our earlier material. You know, Bandcamp, you're gonna kind of find some cool demos that we're working on right now. You know, and on Spotify, you'll find, you know, an EP that's not out anywhere else.
it seems like you could probably get some of this on some shows, you know, like movie sets or something, movies or something like that.
Well, it's different.
That's definitely something that we work towards, you know. Cecil does a lot of ambient music in his solo time, you know, and he's I think he's got another release coming out here pretty shortly, you know. He's already did 2 or 3 releases this second year, and he's working with the label called I can't remember the name of the label he's working with.
That's not the label.
It's going to come to me right as soon as it...
Yeah,
but...
Yeah, it definitely has the soundtrack feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. We just wanted to promote you, and man, y'all are some fantastic guys, and we loved having you on, man.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome. How's Jack doing?
Jack is doing good. Oh, I got to tell you this story. We were driving back from a show in Saturday night, and my wife said, I want to ask Lilith to paint a picture of Jack. Think she would do it?
Yeah.
And I swear to God, they were playing in town. She shows, so they showed up later than we got home, actually, and they. I'm not kidding you. The next morning, she came and said she had a present for Laura and me, and it was a painting of Jack. I'm not shitting. I was like, oh my God,
that's awesome.
She read mine. Yes, Laura freaking loved it. Yeah, and it does look great, you know. That's and cool. Yeah, that was really nice. But yeah, man. I need to see y'all sooner or later. I'll make it happen soon.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to making our way back out towards that area. It's freaking absolutely beautiful out there, and you're an amazing host. I appreciate you.
Man, we got you anytime, Aaron. You take care, man, and thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you as well. I hope to see you out here soon, too.
You will. This is the Nonsense Chronicles. Please like and subscribe.
Later.